A good dialogue and cooperation requires transparency. I promised to you at my hearing that I would do my utmost to increase the transparency when it came to the negotiations for the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, TTIP. As a start, the Commission will publish more of the proposals that we have made to the United States for the chapters of an eventual agreement. They will be online for everybody to examine. But the fresh start is also about content. We need an ambitious and balanced agreement, but we need to be realistic on what can be achieved.
What is being discussed as part of the e-commerce chapter in these negotiations? According to our sources, it seems, but we do not have the papers, it seems that the United States have made proposals which include, and I quote, rules on data flows specifically aimed at creating exemptions to privacy and data protection.
For us, it is crystal clear that we are not going to negotiate anything that jeopardizes data protection in Europe, and we don't think that belongs in CETA. We would hope that we can have the data protection agreement, which you know very well, agreed here in the European Union, but we are not going to enter into anything jeopardizing private data in TISA.
The past weeks we've seen a breakthrough in the WTO. I think that is very positive for those of us who believe that multilateral trade agreements are still very much important. How do you assess this?
There is actually a prospect to finalize Doha by the end of next year. There will be informal ministerial in Davos, and then there will be meetings ongoing. And the plan from the Secretary General of WTO, who will meet in Geneva next week, is to have a WTO ministerial by the end of next year.
Comme vous voulez un nouveau départ pour cette négociation, est-ce que la première chose à faire, ça ne serait pas de relancer, pas simplement sur les universités ou les centres d'études qui sont toujours utilisés par la Commission européenne, mais un vrai travail de construction de ce que pourraient être les impacts de négociations transatlantiques.
But pushing through these agreements is not a solution, and nor is pushing through ISDS. In fact, it will only deepen the gap between the political elite and the public. I wonder, is leadership having the biggest economy, or is it listening to people and talking to them?
I am aware of the criticism and also aware that CETA agreement is considered as closed by all member states and Canada, with ISDS in there. ISDS have been reformed considerably in the Canadian agreement. I think it has taken a very important step forward to limit the possibility of abuse, to make it more open and transparent, to really make sure that it can be used only in very few cases, and that this is not putting the right to regulate for the citizen safety into question. Why would we consider hours and hours and hours of negotiation and resources if we didn't think this was a good thing for European citizens? Because I am convinced that it will bring growth and jobs and investment, and that we can set standards among two partners who are different but more like than many others in the world. And that getting away with tariff, getting away with red tape, getting away with complications and opening markets historically has always been beneficial in general. Now there will be different studies showing different results, but a vast majority of all the studies show that this is good for Europe.
Will you as Commissioner assure us that if a country is found not to be living up to its obligations under GSP+, you will take action and make moves and referrals to get the GSP+ status removed from them?
There is a possibility to suspend it if there is a really systematic violation, but the intention behind this is that we would not just threaten with the suspension, that we would have a process in order to engage with the authorities, with civil society, labor unions, etc., ILO, international organizations, to try to find a way to move forward, and that would be more beneficial for the people of that country than to just threaten with suspension. Suspension can be a very last resort, and I would not hesitate if there is a systematic violation there.